In a wild day of college football, you might have missed this. Pitt visiting Boston College. 45 seconds left in the game. Pitt trails by 3. Alex Kessman, 58-yard field goal is good. Pitt ties the game at 24 late in the fourth. In overtime is where we pick it up, and Joey Galloway. Phil Jerkovich completes the path to Zay Flowers.
Yeah, and Flowers had a big game. 6 catches, 162 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Boston College leads 31-24, ensuing Pitt possession. Kenny Pickett hitting Taysir Mack for the touchdown.
Nice job by Pickett. 2 TDs on the game, and they've got him in position to tie.
Can they do it? Oh, no! Kessman's extra point goes wide right. Boston College hangs on with a 31-30 overtime win. Great for them, but a crazy finish as we welcome you into College Football Final. I'm Laura Rutledge in for Matt Barrie. Jesse Palmer here and Joey Galloway. Guys, if you like offense, today was a lot of fun, right?
It's a good day.
If you like
defensive coaches won't sleep tonight.
Make you nauseous.
They're cringing. So let's get right to it. Number 2, Alabama taking on Ole Miss in Oxford. Nick Saban, 20-0, you know it, against his former assistants. And, of course, Lane Kiffin is one of those. So what would he be able to do against Saban? Well, it was trouble early for Saban and the Tide. Mac Jones getting it to Najee Harris. Jesse, he never fumbles, but he did right here.
Yeah, and Najee Harris, look, it didn't look good early. This is a fumble. He doesn't do that, but believe me, he's going to make up for this. And this might be the only time he got tackled all night by the Ole Miss defense.
Yeah, might have woken him up a little bit there. He's going to talk on the phone about it. But Kiffin says, let me capitalize here. Early in the second quarter, Matt Corral in the gun handing it off to Ely.
And this is on 3rd and 27. I think the biggest surprise to me in this game, Ole Miss ran for 278 yards against the Crimson Tide.
4th and 5, Corral back in the gun. And Ely, that's working really well for what this Ole Miss team wanted to do. Saban looking on. He's not going to like it very much. The next play, Ely going to be able to punch it in. That puts Ole Miss on top. So, all right, what's going on here? Is Kiffin going to be able to do it? Can he be the first assistant to beat Saban? Saban doesn't like it. You almost wonder if Saban would have taken his mask off, what that would have felt like. Here's Harris early in the third quarter.
Remember Harris fumbled? Well, he forgot about it. Went 23 carries, 206 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Well, like I said, I don't know that he got tackled again in this game.
Bama taking the 28-21 lead. What would Ole Miss do? And here they answer.
Lane Kiffin's so good at creating matchup problems, and we've seen this from Alabama. Coverage busts and issues with linebackers covering people. Here, Kenny Yeboah goes 68 yards for the score.
That means he gets a touchdown chain. That's fun. Okay, less than 5 to go in the fourth quarter. Bama has it around midfield, and that's Jalen Waddle. That's fun to watch.
So many weapons for Mac Jones to throw the ball around to. Jalen Waddle had 6 catches, 120. It's like every guy in the highlight had a career day, and you'll see the double move. What are you going to do with that? You're 12 yards off. Waddle, who can fly, gives you a double move. You come up, you get beat. That's what happens.
Waddle looked a little dinged up early on in the game, but he looked good there. 2nd and goal, a couple of plays later. Jones under center, handing it off to Devontae Smith. Alabama wins it 63-48. Harris was dominant. Here's Nick Saban.
Coach, you just came over here and shook your head. You just won the game. Why do you look so frustrated?
Well, I'm not frustrated with their offense at all. I think they did a marvelous job of taking the air out of the ball, scoring about every time we had the opportunity to. We just didn't play very well on defense. But, you know, maybe a game like this will wake us up a little bit, and maybe we can take the mistakes that we made and try to improve. But, you know, we knew that they had a great offensive team, and we're happy to get out of here with the win. We knew this would be a tough game, so I'm really proud of our players for the way they competed in the game. They just kept playing in the game, and that was probably what saved us.
Yeah, next up you have Georgia coming to Tuscaloosa. What do you need your team to fix ahead of that game so you can win that one?
Well, obviously we're going to have to play defense a lot better because they have a really good defensive team, so it'll be challenging, but you know, we'd like to enjoy this game for a few minutes before we're worried about that one.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Nick Saban probably loves he can turn the tape on and show his team some things they did wrong ahead of Georgia. Najee Harris now has 10 rushing touchdowns this season. He did a lot of things right. Over the last 15 seasons, no other SEC player has had more through his team's first 3 games. We've been kind of waiting for Najee Harris to break out. Felt like that was going to happen, and it happened today in a big way. But, Jesse, when you think about Mac Jones and what he's brought to the table, some people didn't expect him to be this good, kind of calling for Bryce Young. He's supplanted himself.
Okay, so the elephant in the room is the defense. I'm going to
get there.
Have fun, talk some
I'm going to
offense.
let Joey talk about that. Thank God the Crimson Tide have Mac Jones playing quarterback right now, guys. Not a lot of programs can lose the 5th overall pick in Tua Tagovailoa and not skip a beat on offense. Mac Jones is playing at a Heisman caliber level through 3 games this year. Phenomenal decision-making, reading coverages, throwing the ball to the right guy, and he's playing fast. He gets the football out of his hands. He's only been sacked twice early this year, and probably the best deep ball thrower I've seen on film early this season. He's been lights out. This is a team that's going to have to win some shootouts this year. It's a good thing they've got a guy like that. Anytime you throw the football 32 times and only 4 times the ball hits the ground, that's a good day. Does he have great weapons and speed? Yes. And it's even better that finally Alabama got the run game going. It got Najee Harris going. That's going to help. But if they're going to beat Georgia and they're going to beat the best defense in college football, they are going to need Mac Jones to continue playing at a high level.
And I would love to see the Saban we just saw in the interview compared to the Saban that they're going to get in the locker room.
Oof.
And in the defensive meeting room this week when they're watching film. Now, believe me, Ole Miss offense is going to give a lot of teams problems. 647 yards, 48 points. That's not what you expect from the Alabama defense. But you got to give Ole Miss credit for what they were able to do. They have so many moving parts and athletic guys. They get guys outside the pocket. They create matchup issues, and they spread you out. So they're really good. I don't expect Alabama to look like this moving forward. They won't see another offense quite like what Ole Miss does with Lane Kiffin. Georgia's more of a more physical thing, which plays more into the Alabama hands. They have some corrections to make. And this was a defense that you could see, but they were tired. When you're chasing guys and it's spread out and it's misdirection stuff, you get tired. And especially when your offense is scoring like that also, you're like, oh, we got to go back out there and get a stop. Yeah. Give them credit because Coach said they did compete. But I would love to see when Saban gets to that film and talks to those players, it's going to be really crazy.
The familiarity is interesting, too, because Lane Kiffin obviously knew what he could do to kind of push Saban's buttons and that team's buttons. So does Kirby Smart. And, of course, that's who they'll see next week. Let's get you to big action in the ACC tonight as well. 7th-ranked Miami visiting #1 Clemson. Early second quarter, Clemson leading second 7-0 is where we'll pick it up. First and goal, Travis Etienne.
Travis Etienne so good at breaking tackles and against a very athletic and disruptive front 7 of Miami. Impressive.
Jesse's really excited. It's a virtual lock game for him. Under 6 minutes to go in the half. Same score. Derek King trying to get something done.
Yeah, he carried the ball 14 times for 84 yards. I don't think he wanted to. Clemson forced him to get out of the pocket because the rush was coming. The D-line played well for Clemson.
That was a 56-yard run for King. Good, he can use his legs there. 1:20 to go in the half. Trevor Lawrence finding Braden Galloway.
Braden Galloway was suspended all of last year, so he's a big part of this passing attack now. 2 receiving touchdowns in this game.
Clemson taking the 21-3 lead. The kick blocked there, and then DJ Ivey recovering from Miami. He goes all the way to the end zone for the score. Dabo Sweeney not happy with this play call, made it 21-10 Miami.
I'm just disappointed in myself right there. It was a terrible, bad a coaching decision I've made.
All right, so he didn't like that. What would they do in the third quarter? Lawrence running right, fumbles there.
There are a couple mistakes made by Clemson in this game, and there's one of them. Trevor Lawrence, get down. There is no reason to take a hit and even getting yourself in a situation to turn it over.
Miami possession next. King getting to the end zone. Picked off, though.
Yeah, Clemson's secondary has gotten healthy here in recent weeks, and they've got corners outside that are winning one-on-one. Sheridan Jones there with a pick.
How about Etienne right here, able to stay in bounds so well?
His balance and his legs is incredible. You see so many guys bounce off of him when they hit him down low because his legs are so strong, and that's the way he turned that corner and stayed in bounds.
Clemson taking the 28-10 lead there, and then Trevor Lawrence keeping it himself for the touchdown. Clemson leads 35-10, able to win this one 42-17.
James Skalski told me this week that the defense was still finding their identity.
Yeah.
What sort of identity did they start to develop out there tonight?
Well, they were relentless. You know, we had a good scheme tonight. You know, I mean, we tweaked our scheme a little bit just by nature of who we were playing and their style of play with the tempo and this quarterback. We did an awesome job. I was really worried about him coming into the game, but we really contained him well. We disrupted him all night. We had a bunch of sacks and again, turned them over. So a lot of turnovers. Travis Etienne was unbelievable. Trevor Lawrence, you just see his heart. You know, I thought he milked the, air knocked out of him a little bit too long, but, just a hard-fought game. I've never been a part of a game with 3 blocked field goals, so I may never kick another one again. So we obviously got a lot of work to do to get our team better, but we will. It's a lot better to do it coming off a win.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
With Clemson's win, they now have won 36 straight regular season games. Yeah, you heard that right. That's tied for the 4th longest streak in the AP poll era. Next week, they travel to Georgia Tech, who just got a big win, by the way, as they look to tie the 3rd longest streak. Jesse, Clemson's D-line's young, but they've been good.
Really good. And going up against an offense led by De'Ara King, they were able to bottle him up. And you heard Coach Sweeney talk about it. They were disruptive with 4 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. And this is a defense with D coordinator Brent Venables you know is going to blitz, but they've got guys that play the zone read. They play their assignments, and they play fast. They use their speed and their athleticism to their advantage. They can load the box and stack 6 defenders inside versus 6 blockers with 5 linemen and a running back and still find a way to get home. You guys will remember 2 years ago, Clemson's D-line was the most dominant position group in college football. They had 3 guys on that D-line get drafted in the 1st round. Last year, not as productive, but I think they're back. And the scary thing about this unit, they're very young. You look at guys like Tyler Davis and Brian Brzee and Miles Murphy. They're all freshmen and sophomores. And these guys are already creating this many problems. They've done such a good job recruiting on that side of the football. They're going to give offensive coordinators nightmares and headaches for years to come now. And I think because of this D-line playing better, we already know what they do on offense. I think this right now is the most complete team in college football.
And that's why they're most complete team, because we know what they do on the offensive side. So when the defense plays well, I don't know what you do with this team. You have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, best quarterback in the country, and he's athletic. And then behind him, you have the 2-time ACC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and Travis Etienne, who had 149 yards rushing in this game, also added 8 catches. You add Amari Rodgers. So the weapons they have on this offense, you don't come into this game and you can't take one guy away, because if you do, they'll hurt you in other places. They've proven through this season that they're the only team that hasn't shown a weak spot. We've seen Alabama's weak spot. We've seen Georgia offensively struggle a little bit in this season. So when you talk about those top 3 teams, Clemson's that team that they haven't shown one weakness whatsoever besides a blocked field goal, which will upset a coach, and then Trevor Lawrence, who doesn't have to take a hit, slide, and you don't fumble the football. So Clemson right now is by far the #1 team in the country.
I still think Travis Etienne doesn't get enough credit. He's now 3rd on the ACC's all-time leading rushers list, and it just seems like no matter what, he can get it done. Hey, we've got so much more coming your way on College Football Final tonight. We're going to get into this crazy game in the SEC. The Kyle-to-Kyle connection was working, but A&M, a little too much for Florida. All the details on why that happened next. And we're going to get into a big game in the ACC as well. North Carolina putting on some dominance against a depleted Virginia Tech team. How it all happened, coming your way on College Football Final. Really fun day in college football, getting you caught up on all the action. Number 21 Texas A&M hosting number 4 Florida. Kyle Trask named after Kyle Field, and he's going to put on a show in front of about 30 family members there. The Kyle-to-Kyle connection is rolling.
And once again, it looked like this was going to be the theme of the game. It's been the theme for the Florida offense all season long as Kyle Pitts gets his 7th touchdown reception through 3 games.
Yeah, virtual lock for Joey this one is. Under 10 minutes left. Kellen Mond to Caleb Chapman.
Yeah, a couple touchdowns for Caleb Chapman in this game. And on that drive, Mond passed Gerard Johnson for most passing yards in Texas A&M history.
Tied it up there, too. About 10 minutes left in the 3rd. Trask to Kadarius Toney. That one for 37 yards.
You cannot cover Kadarius Toney one-on-one. He has proven that he is a problem for a matchup for a corner.
This one back and forth for a while. Here's early in the 4th quarter.
Wow.
Isaiah Spiller.
And this is on 4th and 2. Texas A&M was the more physical team. Spiller, 174 yards rushing, 2 TDs.
I gave the Aggies their first lead since 2 weeks ago versus Vanderbilt. Mond, good to Aniyah Smith.
Yeah, give Mond a lot of credit. He made plays when he had to. Pressure in the 4th quarter, he continued to play well.
Florida took advantage of that turnover there, 2nd and goal, and then Trask to Pierce for the 1-yard touchdown. They lead it 38-31. And here's Mond, another great pass to Chapman.
Chapman came into this one with only 5 catches on the season. He had 9 catches, 151 yards, 6'5", big target, and he made plays.
Let's just point out they're going toe for toe. That tied up the game, and then Malik Davis on the carry there, but he fumbles. So A&M's going to get it on the Florida 48 as time is winding down in the 4th quarter. After the fumble recovery, Mond to Chase Lane.
And Kellen Mond was 25 of 35. 338 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he was huge the entire game.
Kyle Field going crazy, so Seth Small with the opportunity to win it, and as time expires, he's able to do it. A&M defeats Florida 41-38. As you might imagine, Jimbo pretty excited.
You got to learn to not play the scoreboard and play every play. Relentless competitor, win your space. The scoreboard takes care of itself. And I can't say enough. People doubt him, and we deserve some of it. But we had a very good football team and a heck of a program.
Reevaluate a lot of things defensively, where we're at right now. I'm going to have to really evaluate some things with our personnel, where we're at, our ability to make plays, making sure we have all the right guys at the right position, to put ourselves to be able to make the plays we need to get off the field. We can't give up 13 and 15 conversions on the day and expect to win any games.
The difference for Texas A&M in this game, Jesse, you mentioned, was their ability to be physical. That's what they've been missing in past seasons in SEC football. They were a finesse team. In this game, they ran the ball for 205 yards, and you can see the front line up just getting huge blocks, blowing people off the line of scrimmage. And when Spiller had to break tackles, he broke tackles, ran the ball 27 times, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and watch him do the work. Blocking was okay, but when they don't knock these guys off, leave it up to Spiller, running through guys. We haven't seen this Texas A&M team. If they can do this, they can make a lot of noise in the SEC.
Man, Florida's offense has done its part this season, but on defense, there hadn't been much bite from the Gators. They've allowed 100 points in the first 3 games of this season. That's the program's most points allowed in any 3-game span over 100 years. Literally 100 years. In 1917, they allowed 175 points over the final 3 games of the season. But look, Jesse, Kellen Mond deserves a ton of credit.
No doubt. It's probably about as good as I've seen Kellen Mond play throughout his 4-year career. We've always known he's had a lot of talent. The big knock on him has been in big games, inconsistent decision-making and accuracy, and that was not the case today. Take a look at some of these throws. In breaking routes to receivers, a lot of times they've got DBs draped all over him. Kellen Mond was hitting guys in the numbers, he was hitting them in the face mask, and he was outstanding throwing the deep ball. Coming into the year, no one really knew who this guy was throwing to outside of his tight end Weidermeyer. Jamon Osmond, last year's leading receiver, he opts out. So who's going to make plays at receiver? It looks like he's got a good chemistry with this Chapman guy, 6'5", making plays. And I'll tell you, if Kellen Mond just continues to avoid the negative plays and avoid the mistakes and play like this on the big stage, this is a team that can run the table. They
and
can
honestly,
beat Tennessee,
though,
Auburn, LSU, and make the SEC West.
It helps a quarterback when you can run the ball. And they never could.
Yeah.
So when they would go against teams like Alabama, Kellen Mond had to be the guy that beat these teams. You can't do that unless you can run it. They can keep running it. And it could be fun.
The pressure was mounting on Jimbo Fisher. That's no secret. So this win, huge for him. Their first win against a top 5 team since 2002. Let's get you to more action in the SEC. The SEC East, a big showdown. Number 3, Georgia hosting number 14, Tennessee. First time since 2006, these 2 teams square off as AP top 15 ranked teams. And Stetson Bennett with an opportunity early. Quarterback draw makes a nice.
Yeah, 5'11", so the defense can't see him. He's behind the line. He's juking.
Wow.
He's got some quicks, though, and he shows you on that play.
Jarek Garantano answers here.
And how about Tennessee's on an 8-game win streak? And this is the type of plays they're going to need if they have a chance to stay in this game with Georgia.
They were feeling it. They tied it up at 14 later in the second. The Vols trailing 17-14 here. Garantano looking for Palmer, but he's called out of bounds.
Yeah, Palmer's his best deep threat. Man-to-man coverage, that's where Garantano's going to go. They would call it out of bounds, but take a look again. He's got possession. The left foot is in. They would reverse the call. TD. Garantano fired up.
16 seconds left in the half, so Georgia with an opportunity there, but what a goal line stand by Tennessee. Kirby Smart's calling timeout. He elects to go for it on 4th and goal. Said at halftime, if you're that close, you got to go for it. So we'll see what happens in this opportunity. Would they be able to get it?
I love the play call. They just didn't execute. Give Tennessee's defense some credit. They go into the locker room with momentum and the lead.
Yeah, leading 21-17 at the half. So third quarter is where we really start to see Georgia pick it up against Garantano, a fumble there.
Yeah, this is after a Garantano fumble. Here he throws a pick to Eric Stokes. This is what he'd been able to avoid the first couple of weeks, but 3 key turnovers really cost the Vols.
Led to a field goal for Georgia there, and under a minute left in the third, the Bulldogs leading by 2. Bennett finding Karis Jackson. That's Jackson's first touchdown.
And Jackson had 4 catches, 91 yards, and that was the beginning of the end. Georgia goes on to dominate.
Yeah, Georgia's starting to pull away, and that dominant defense that Alabama's going to have to face next week, showing what it can do. They win it 44-21. Let's hear from them.
got a team that adjusts well. So if somebody's giving us trouble with something, we have answers. You know, we don't just continue to do the same thing if we're struggling with things. So I'm proud of the effort they came out with in the second half, the momentum the defense created. They have a camaraderie about them. They take pride in being good. I mean, everybody puts sweat in the bucket, and there's a lot of guys contributing on defense. The atmosphere that's created on defense here is just, we're not letting them score. We're not going to let them in, and they hold everybody accountable.
Man, Kirby Smart having a great defense. Shocker. Number 17 LSU taking on Missouri. This game moved to Missouri due to concerns over Hurricane Delta. Third quarter is where we pick it up. Missouri with the ball trailing 31-24, back and forth all day. Connor Bazelak was good. Listen, Michael Wilson wide open.
This was a theme on the day for LSU's defense. Terrible on the back end. You see two defenders just allow a receiver to run scot-free on a post throw. Michael Wilson's wide open. You got Eli Ricks and Todd Harris Jr. They're looking around, looking at each other. Bo Pelini, the new defensive coordinator, upset.
Game tied at 31. Next LSU drive. Miles Brennan still with an answer there, though.
Yeah, and this is a Missouri team coming in averaging 15 points a game. So you're thinking every time LSU took the lead, they were going to stop them because Missouri's offense just isn't that good.
One of 3 touchdowns on the day from Marshall. They did take the lead back there. Fourth quarter, Missouri trailing, but Bazelak able to connect right there.
Yeah, Bazelak, the freshman, he got named the starter heading into this week, threw for 406 yards. You see another issue there. Derek Stingley, probably the best cornerback in the entire country, missing an open field tackle, and that led to a lot of passing yards for Mizzou.
Yeah, surprising to see Stingley Jr. do that, but it just was the story of the day. Another connection there for Bazelak, and he had 406 yards for 4 touchdowns. Under a minute left, LSU at the Missouri 14-yard line, and Brennan finding Marshall near the pylon, but not quite there.
Yeah, Marshall had 11 catches for 235 yards, but he needed 237 yards to get this ball in the end zone.
Here we go.
Surely they're going to get it, right?
Yeah, first and goal, no problem. It's LSU.
No, second and goal.
How about this? LSU only ran for 49 yards in this game, and as a result, ran into issues.
But Brennan's
down on the goal line.
They're fine. Brennan's
rejected.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Joshua Bledsoe, what a breakup of that pass. 4th down stand for Missouri at the goal line, and Bledsoe making a great play on that ball. We'll see it one more time, another opportunity, but not enough. So Missouri knocking off number 17 LSU 45-41. LSU falling to 1-2 for the first time since 1994. Ed O not happy, but Eli Drinkwitz is.
Our defense just willed it out. I mean, that was unbelievable. That's what we're about. Toughness Tuesday. Fist, faster, stronger, tougher than you in the fourth quarter. We proved it right there.
We couldn't stop anybody. Really, the poor showing on defense. We got to coach better. Number one, starts with me. Players got to make plays. Couldn't stop the run. Receivers wide open downfield was embarrassing. And we got to get it fixed. Whatever it is, they get it fixed.
Coach O saying that defense was embarrassing, and what a difference a year makes. LSU has now dropped 2 of its 3 games this season and has allowed 96 points over the course of those games. That's the most through 3 games in program history. The next 3 highest point totals all resulted in losing seasons. We'll see if they can get it right. They got Florida in Gainesville next week. North Carolina hosting Virginia Tech in a top 20 ACC matchup. Sam Howell looking to continue his excellence this year, and he gets it going early.
And at one point, Carolina was up 21-0. I thought you could pack it in, go home with it. Great play with the flip, get it in the end zone.
Yeah, listen, Virginia Tech not going away, though. Starting to show some life in the third quarter. Hendon Hooker, design run. Virginia Tech trailing by 18. Ensuing Virginia Tech kickoff, Brian Johnson executes an amazing onside kick there to retain the ball for Va Tech. So Johnson fired up. Virginia Tech getting the ball in good field position. 3 plays later, 3rd and 8. Khalil Herbert takes the handoff, breaks free, 52 yards.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert was a bit of a chubby kid. He actually played offensive line until he was in the 7th grade. And look at him now. Look at the wheels. He's been one of the best running backs in college football.
That was important. They cut the deficit to 11 after a 3-and-out. Virginia Tech getting the ball back, and Hooker faking the run, but he gets to Tavion Robinson there.
And it was the run game that brought Virginia Tech back, running for over 260, but Carolina was better on the ground, running it for 399 yards.
They're able to hold on. Howell gets his 3rd touchdown pass of the day, and they win it 56-45. UNC starting 3-0. Let's hear from Matt Brown.
The guys are excited. It's fun to win. We saw the offense that we can be today when you can run the ball as well as we did today. We know we can throw it. They ran it really well, but we ran it better than they did, and that was not anticipated coming into the game. There'll be some fans that aren't happy with the defense, and what I'm going to tell them is be happy with 3-0. You can find something to be mad about every week, but if you love your team, be happy they're 3-0 with a lot of things to fix.
What a marathon it was for Texas and Oklahoma. 4 overtimes and record-breaking numbers. We'll tell you why Spencer Rattler showed us something today. And another big win for Navy. Congratulations, Navy football, and Navy coach Ken, 100 wins for him. We'll be right back on College Football Final. Well, we'll just have to see. Spencer Rattler had 2 first-half turnovers, was replaced briefly, but started the second half. We pick it up with 2:10 to go in the fourth. Rattler incomplete there.
And this is on 3rd down. Texas has no timeouts, but Lincoln Riley wants to be aggressive. He puts the game in the hands of his redshirt freshman quarterback. Ellinger would get another shot.
Virtual lock implications for Jesse here. Ellinger getting his chance.
And Ellinger ran the ball 23 times for 112 yards. And he put 4 of these in the end zone. He has to do too much for this team.
Yeah, later in the drive, 1st and goal, 18 seconds left. Able to get it there. Ellinger quickly to Keontae Ingram. That's in the backfield for a touchdown. He brings the Longhorns all the way back. So we're going to head to overtime. But let's go into second overtime because both teams scored touchdowns in the first one. Oklahoma with the ball first. Rattler gets a touchdown.
And you've seen Rattler more involved in the run game recently. He would take it himself. It's called a touchdown. Play will get reviewed, though. And as you see, Rattler clearly down before the ball crosses the plane. That brings up 4th and goal from inside the 1. But Lincoln Riley, man, he's going for it.
We were telling everybody to go for 2 in this game, by the way. Ensuing 4th and goal, Rattler taking it in there. The QB sneak. Oklahoma takes a 7-point lead. And then Texas with another opportunity. They need 7 to stay alive. And Ellinger, he's like, I'm going to just do this myself.
He accounted for 6 touchdowns in this game. If they could find a way to win, he might get a helmet sticker. He threw for 2, ran for 4.
Hey, helmet stickers coming later in the show. 3rd overtime. Let's go there. Texas gets the ball first. Ellinger on the sidelines. Cameron Dicker.
He's automatic. He's automatic.
Hard field goal, but he's not automatic, Jess. Not able to do it. So Texas coming away with nothing. Any points will result in an Oklahoma victory. So surely Oklahoma's going to be able to get it done right here.
Second down.
It's 2nd down.
Why not?
Gabe Burkett.
He's automatic.
This ain't a chip shot.
Automatic.
No, but he's not.
Wait, what is going on?
Guys, it's the Red River Showdown. It's crazy. Wild turn of events. This means we're headed to a 4th overtime, and we are tied at 45. Oklahoma with the ball first. This is the second play of the drive. Rattler finding Drake Stoops.
Rattler's so good throwing the football on the move. Accounted for 3 TDs in overtime. Here finding Bob Stoops' son, Drake Stoops, for the 25-yard touchdown.
Okay, Oklahoma up 8 because they did go for 2. We like that here on College Football Final. Ensuing Texas possession, an opportunity for Ellinger, but...
Yeah, and it's 2nd and goal from the 20 because they had penalties that backed them up, so it makes it a longer throw, and that is tough from that distance to get it to the end zone.
Ray Brown picks it off, and Oklahoma wins an epic one. Lincoln Riley, tell us all about it.
You know, in any year to quit, this would have been the one. With all this going against this team, and give Texas credit. What a battle. This has got to be one of the greatest Red River shootouts of all time. Unbelievable game, man. Unbelievable.
What is your message, Sam, to Longhorn Nation?
I don't have one right now.
Woo, tough for Sam Ellinger. Time for some 2020 vision. Let's take a closer look at this crazy rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma. You can see it behind us. Barry Switzer there. This is like way back in the day.
What does that say?
Am I supposed to turn like
you're
you
supposed
guys?
to turn around.
Yeah, it's like literally right
it's right there. It says
take our word for it.
He literally wore a hat saying "Beat Texas."
Beat Texas. All
I
right.
mean, that's great. I wish actually more coaches would do that now. Joey's not going to turn around.
Were they playing Texas, though, when he wore the hat?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Let's pick it up here. John Makovic in Texas in the 1994 Red River Showdown. James Brown.
James Brown. Dude, I remember watching that guy. I was playing college football. He was still going.
How big the pads were back then?
Well, how about this? Later in the fourth, Oklahoma down 7. Garrick McGee to James Allen. He stopped by Stoney Clark, and you know what? This hit by Clark, guys, became known as the Stone Cold Stop.
It might have been targeting.
Say it
nowadays.
with me. Yeah, it might have been.
Yo, that's targeting.
Win that one 17-10. How about this other one in this Red River Showdown rivalry? Sam Bradford and
these
Cole
two
McCoy.
guys.
Look how young they look. 0-7, third quarter game is tied at 14. DeMarco Murray.
DeMarco Murray.
Hurdling. Insane. Well, I thought he hurdled. Did I miss the hurdle? Anyway,
He hurdled air on his way. Yeah, he was hurdling air, but,
here we go.
But it was
All right,
impressive.
Oklahoma up by 7. Fourth quarter, game tied again at 21. Bradford to Malcolm Kelly. All right, that was fun. Oklahoma wins 28-21. Let's get you to some more Big 12 action from today. But first, one of the most historic rivalries in the sport added another chapter this year. It was the 116th meeting between the two programs that have combined for 9 Heisman Trophy winners. And all those meetings, none of them combined for more points than today's 98. So as I mentioned, more Big 12 action. Brock Purdy and number 24 Iowa State facing Texas Tech. Second quarter, 3rd and goal for Iowa State. Purdy trying to make something happen, finding Chase Allen.
Yeah, but Breece Hall was really the story for Iowa State in this game. Had 17 carries for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy's a gunslinger, but Breece Hall's their maker.
Purdy loved it. How about that, faking the handoff and getting another touchdown? Iowa State wins at 31-15. Purdy with 302 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Big day for him. We got more coming your way on College Football Final. Getting back to the ACC, a big win for Notre Dame. Florida State was hanging around, though. We'll show you all of that with the highlights coming your way. And how about the Clemson Tigers firmly planting their spot as a #1 team in the country? We'll tell you why. And these guys are giving you their top 5 in the country right now. Some changes happened this week. That's next. Opportunity for some statement games in college football today. 5th-ranked Notre Dame taking on FSU. We're going to pick this one up in the first quarter with Jesse Palmer and Joey Galloway. Kyron Williams taking the handoff. That's a 46-yard
Yeah, this
touchdown.
Irish offensive line, they just take games over. They push people around. The Irish ran for 353 yards.
Golly, out in front 14-3. Irish now trail 17-14, though. FSU had gotten the lead. But Williams getting the handoff, walking into the end zone. So Irish reclaim the lead there, 21-17. 5:35 left in the half, and Chris Tyree taking it to the house.
And this game is close for a little while. I mean, Florida State, give them a little bit of credit. They're actually in this game in the first half.
They were fighting. Notre Dame leading, though, 35-20 at the half, so 8:45 left in the third. Ian Book really good in this game. 4 rushing touchdowns up until that point, and he had one of them. And now let's take a look at who you guys think could be in the college football playoff with the Capital One fan vote.
All right, we're mixing up our top 5, Laura. 2 teams that we both had in our top 5 last week, Florida and Miami. They go down this week, so this is going to look a little bit different. And as a reminder to people at home, no Big Ten teams, no Pac-12 teams yet. We're just evaluating the teams we've seen play so far. So, Joey, start us off with number 5.
I'm going to the Tar Heels. Getting in at number 5. They ran the ball for 400 yards against Virginia Tech over the weekend.
Yep.
Sam Howell completes 69% of his passes. When they run the ball well, they're a balanced offense, and they can make some noise in the ACC.
I'm going to go Notre Dame at number 5 right now. I love their offensive line. I love the way they run the football. And Ian Book, all the guy does is win games. Now, from a resume standpoint, probably the weakest strength of schedule of any of the teams in my top 5. So at this point, they've beaten USF, they've beaten Duke, they've beaten Florida State. But I do like what I've seen so far
You want to go
from Notre
4?
Dame. Yeah, I'll go number 4. I like what you said about the Tar Heels earlier, and I'm loving what I'm seeing on balance in offense. And Sam Howell throwing it, the receivers and running backs they've got. I also like their resume, though. They beat a pretty good Boston College team that's now 3-1. It was impressive getting their win against Virginia Tech, so I got Mac Brown and the Heels at number 4.
And the key for the Heels, they don't play Clemson in the regular season. Same thing you said, but these two teams are so similar.
Yeah.
When they run the ball, when Notre Dame runs the ball with Kyron Williams, they have a chance to win. Now, look, Ian Book doesn't wow anybody, but when he takes care of the ball, they're solid enough to be at number 4 for now.
What do you got at number 3?
At number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs. And the way their defense is playing, they could move up to 2 or 1. They are a very scary defense.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way the SEC East looked this weekend with Florida losing, Tennessee, Georgia blows them out, it's not looking as interesting as we thought it was going to.
They're the best defense, I think, right now in college football, so I'm loving that about them. I've got Alabama at number 2, scare against Ole Miss. This defense has a lot to work on with respect to tackling. Ole Miss is going to give a lot of people a lot of problems, but Mac Jones is just playing at a Heisman caliber level right now. He's got a lot of weapons around him, but he has been so efficient. This offense is going to probably have to outscore a lot of people this year.
I'm going to put my 2 in there. I agree with you on Alabama. And the Clemson Tigers knock off a top 10 team in Miami.
Yep.
Style that we expect to see them. Explosive on the offensive side. ETN, the way he's playing, will be a 3-time ACC Offensive Player of the Year.
I think they're the most complete team right now in college football. And you love Trevor Lawrence. We know about him. We know about ETN as well. How about this young and talented D-line now, starting to make more plays? They're good on both sides of the ball. So this is our top 5, Laura, right now. Some changes this week, and certainly there'll be more to come down the line.
Yeah, it feels like Clemson's D-line could peak at the right time. This week's top 5 teams will be in action next week with a huge game in Tuscaloosa between Georgia and Alabama. Don't forget to give your Capital One fan vote on SportsCenter's Twitter handle on Monday. More action in the SEC to tell you about. Bo Nix and Auburn hosting Felipe Franks in Arkansas. Bo Nix looking to bounce back after that loss to Georgia. Fourth quarter is where we picked this one up, under 6 minutes to play. Franks really took the ball with his arm.
Florida transfer threw the ball beautifully in the rain, bad weather, 318 passing yards, 4 TDs.
Don't look now, but Arkansas had the lead there, and it was getting late. Nix gets the snap, rushes just a yard short of the field goal for the first down. Anders Carlson warming up to kick. Would we see him? Nix attempting to spike the ball, but something crazy happened.
You know, pay attention to this, because when I first saw it, I thought he spiked it backwards. So the ball definitely goes backwards after he picks it up off the ground. So it's muffed. He picks it up, throws it backwards. So now I have to go back and take a look at this. And I know Arkansas is arguing that is a backwards pass and we recovered it. Why is it not a fumble? After a long review, the officials decided it is just grounded. And so they retain the football, and all of a sudden they still have a chance to win this football game.
Arkansas fans are devastated. Sam Pittman devastated, but here's what you see there. Carlson hitting the 39-yard field goal. That was redemption for him. Auburn wins at 30-28 in escape. Our rules expert, Bill Lamagnier, with an explanation on that call at the end.
It's an interesting play because you're allowed to spike a ball if you take and get the snap cleanly. But if you muff the snap, it hits the ground, then you pick it up, and now you spike the ball, that's a foul. Now, the question here, though, is, and the debate is this a forward pass or a backward pass? His intent, and we always try and go with philosophy to give the quarterback the benefit of the doubt for the forward pass. This one here, looking at it, to me, this is a backward pass.
Thanks for the explanation there, Bill. All right, how about this one? Zach Wilson and BYU hosting UTSA. Second quarter, and by the way, Zach Wilson's been really good this year. BYU down 3-0, 4th and goal. Wilson getting it to Neil Pau'u. How about that, Ken?
Yeah, he leads the nation, completing 84% of his passes coming into this one because he puts the ball where only his guy can make the play. But how about Pau'u getting both feet down? Great concentration. Zach Wilson loving it.
Yeah, only guy that can make the play like probably anywhere. BYU up 14-3 at half. Third quarter, Wilson running it in for the 4-yard touchdown. And that's Wilson's 3rd straight game with a passing and rushing touchdown. He's setting records, and BYU holds off UTSA to win 27-20. We're going to get to all the action around college football today. Some great top plays to show you. All more highlights coming your way, so stay tuned for that. And we got some lowlights as well, some things that are going to basically cost people $1. So we call it That's a Dollar here on College Football Final. I'm a fan of it. We're going to hand them out. Hey, it was a crazy day in the SEC. This game, no exception. Tonight, Mississippi State taking on Kentucky in Lexington. Mike Leach going back to Lexington where he got his first Power 5 job, but it wasn't a whole lot of fun for him.
Kentucky's defense got 6 interceptions. If they don't get a helmet sticker, they probably deserve one. But look at the –
Get in!
That's why he's number 4. Look at the athleticism.
Yeah, they would punch it in there on the next play, go up 14-0. Fourth quarter, this air raid trying to make something happen, but Mississippi State backed up.
Costello threw 3 picks in their loss against Arkansas last week. He got benched in this game. And how about the first time ever as a head coach, Mike Leach's offense does not score?
That was insane. All right. We'll get to that later, but it's time for That's a Dollar. Now, listen, I'm filling in for Matt Barrie, so this is new for me.
Screw it up.
I already did because I'm not exactly sure what we're doing. But anyway, we're going to hand out some dollars to some people who did some things that we didn't like. So I get to go first because
you're dropping dollars.
I'm dropping
Good luck.
dollars.
All right. Good luck.
All right, so here's Delaren Turner-Yell, the Oklahoma player, who is taunting the poor Texas fans. That's a dollar, Delaren Turner-Yell. I like my dollar picture, guys. Can I get that dollar?
The swat for the ball, though.
Yeah, they didn't even want it, though, did they? I don't know.
Great effort out of it.
All right, that's $1. I did it.
All right, well, you guys know most punters just have one job. Daniel Sparks from ULM, though, he's got 3. Drop the snap, let the other team recover for a touchdown, and then walks in shame to the sidelines. Daniel Sparks walking to the sideline like, oh, that is so $1.
So sad.
Where's my piggy bank?
Now, we've seen a lot of coaches wearing masks and struggling with those masks. What is Coach Pruitt doing?
Don't know.
What is the point? Is he scared to get something on the back of his neck?
I think in Russia and Poland, that's called a babushka.
My man kept it on like that. Why wear it, Coach?
That is $1 sporting a babushka on the sideline.
All right, that was some bad stuff, but here's some good stuff. Top plays. Number 5, Florida taking on Texas A&M. This is number 5.
Yeah,
right.
Weidemeyer at tight end, man. He's got some serious paws. He runs a lot of these in routes, but they're stabbing it with one hand.
How about number 4, Iowa State versus Texas Tech? Breece Hall, the story in this game.
Yeah, Breece Hall had a big game, and he really was a story running the ball. Sometimes you got to go over a guy. Can't always go through him. Go over him.
Pretty.
Should get in the end zone.
Yeah, well, Iowa State won it 31-15. Number 3, Texas, Oklahoma. You could have picked a ton of plays from this game. Tanner Mordecai, it was tipped there. Listen, the concentration to make that catch, you guys, unbelievable.
That's Rambo on the catch, helping out his backup quarterback here, trying to gain some momentum late in that game.
Number 2, Auburn taking on Arkansas in our top plays here. Direct snap and then a nice spin move at the line for J.J.
How about the big fella, the spin move and then the hurdle. And the defender was happy that he hurdled. Because if he had put his shoulder down and ran into that guy, he might have killed.
Watching that.
Auburn hung on to win that one. That was crazy. Number 1, NC State against Virginia.
I love this.
Intercepted by Elite.
Let's go, big fella.
He's going to
get out.
No, get the visa.
Yeah. Let's go. The Wolfpack would get the win 38-21. Big man is balling out there.
Massive respect to the QB wearing number 36.
I know, I love it. All right, listen, we're going to hand out some helmet stickers next. Find out who our favorite players of the day were, who impressed us the most. We got those coming your way. Helmet stickers next in College Football Final. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. It's presented by Snickers. Sam and the guys getting you ready for a great NFL Sunday coming your way, and we'll be there with them. All right, here we go. Some virtual locks implications here for Joey. Marshall against Western Kentucky. Marshall up here. Your guy Grant Wells getting it done.
Yeah, and Marshall has the best running game in Conference USA. Their defense has only given up 7 points all season long. We went up 28-0. I was feeling really good.
Yeah, I love it. I think you just said we. Western Kentucky fumbles there. It's recovered by Tavante Beckett. He runs it back for the touchdown. Marshall wins big, 38-14. Here's what we got. Virtual locks. Joey, you're 5-1, 2-0 this week. Jess, 3-3, 1-1.
Yeah, we went 3-1 this week. Come on, Texas.
We call that 8-4.
Yeah,
that's what we call
8-4. People are making money at home.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys are making people money, so that's good. We appreciate that. Time now for some helmet stickers. We're going to hand out some helmet stickers for some great performances today. I think I get to go first. So my first helmet sticker. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
That's $1. That's $1.
I know
you're excited.
That's $1.
Fine, go.
Isaiah Spiller, Texas A&M, 27 carries, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns as A&M finally became a physical football team.
A little anxious, Laura. Okay.
Sorry, got excited.
Zay Flowers from Boston College, 6 catches, $162, 3 TDs in their win against Pitt. Kobe White, their leading receiver from a year ago, he gets hurt. No one knows where they're going to throw the football to. Hunter Long's been good at tight end, but Zay Flowers, monster game this weekend.
It's my turn. Okay, Michael Carter, the running back from North Carolina. Guys, 214 yards today. That's a career high for him. A couple of touchdowns, and a big part of why that North Carolina offense was so dominant, especially winning the game. My sticker didn't go on totally right there.
That. We'll
get
better.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
I got Connor Basilick from Missouri. Came in the offense averaging 15 points a game. He threw for 404 touchdowns as they scorched LSU.
Alabama finally got the running game going. We've been waiting for Najee Harris to kind of get out long runs. We saw it against Ole Miss. 206 rushing yards, 5 TDs.
All right, guys, my final helmet sticker goes to Eve from Auburn. Got 268 all-purpose yards. That's the most by any Auburn player since Trey Mason had 312 against Missouri in 2013. So congratulations, Tank, and congratulations, Michael, the 2 best helmet stickers.
We were going to try to give you a helmet sticker at the end, but since you jumped the gun and tried to go first,
I got so excited about doing it. Oh, so lame. Okay.
Did you have fun?
I loved it. Thank you, guys.
We loved
Matt Barrie will be back. I enjoyed it with you guys, though, and thanks for having me. It's been a whole blast.
Hardest working person in television.
No.
But you got like a Monday Night Football game to call?
I'll see you guys on Monday Night Football. Bye.
Way to go, Gator.